Oh, yes. Remembering causing the cleaning crew at a theater to really curse the people who were watching the movie before, the night before. Listening to our little Rocky Horror Picture Show there, Time Warp. Welcome back to the Patrick Regan Show, the premier show of the Libertarian Lighthouse Radio Network and News Talk 98.7 WOKI. Let me bring that back up there. All right. Getting started into this segment here. I ran across this column on the 10th Amendment Center's website. It's about an hour before the show and made the official show host executive decision to cram it in this week. Now, normally I don't read a whole column. I'll take little tidbits here and there so you get an idea of where we're going. But this time, though, I want to read you the majority of this column because it makes a lot of good points concerning this upcoming vote in Congress, mainly on Syria. Pull it up here. Okay, this is from the 10th Amendment Center's website. It's by Michael Boldin. Not Bolton, Boldin. Boldin. What he says is, in response to heavy public opposition to a unilateral executive war against Syria, and he notes, yes, limited strikes on another country are certainly a war in the legal sense, the Obama administration has given the appearance of a tip of the hat to constitutional procedure by, quote, seeking approval from Congress. I know quite a few people who, while still rightly opposed to intervention in Syria from a moral standpoint, have referred to this as at least going in the right direction. I don't. In fact, beyond a temporary delay before the imperial president's next foreign crime, this changes nothing. It's a Band-Aid at best. And here's 3 reasons why. 1, the rhetoric coming from the, quote, peace candidate would have fit quite nicely anywhere in the Bush war years. When Obama says he doesn't actually need permission from Congress to wage war against another country, and that he, quote, always reserves the right and responsibility to act, unquote, it may well have been the words of Dick Cheney. John Kerry, the reformed anti-war activist, might as well be Rumsfeld or any of the other criminals of those unfortunate days. Fact, these people don't have principles or sound morals. They have power, and they want to use it. Asking for permission to declare war while claiming it's not needed doesn't give me warm fuzzies. It makes me angry. You didn't get a peace president. You've been had. This is number 2 reason. This so-called constitutional process proposed by the Obama administration is wildly unconstitutional at best. Unfortunately, most Americans don't understand the constitutional underpinnings of congressional and executive war powers, so it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Here's the short version. The Constitution declares the power or delegates the power to declare war to Congress. The president then has the power to wage the war once declared by Congress. Just because Congress authorizes something does not mean it has fulfilled this requirement. Usually, it's just a sham. And he goes on to say, after their authorized use of force, he talks about what we did in Iraq, and he said, clearly, it wasn't constitutional. It's not even close. Congress never declared war. They told George Bush, you make the call, let us know what you decide. And this flies in the face of what James Madison had to say. The executive has no right in any case to decide the question whether there is or is not cause for declaring war. In any case, he makes note of that. What he goes on, I'm kind of skipping down through here because we're running out of time. But his 3rd reason that he talks about this not being a good thing, the so-called more limited authorization for the use of military force proposed in the Senate is unconstitutional garbage as well. And he lists the text of it, which basically says the president's authorized to go into Syria and respond to the use of weapons of mass destruction. And Mr. Bolden says, if you believe that handing the president the same power to make the final determination over war is somehow a better situation, I've got some land on Saturn to sell you. There's good reason to want a system where just one person would never have the power to determine if an entire country will go to war, to determine if you'll have to pay for the killing that this country or the government's carrying out, to determine possibly if you or your children may have to fight and die for their cause. The founders knew this because they experienced it. We had just come out of the Revolutionary War. You and I should know this too, because you and I are experiencing this firsthand. Again, that is out at the 10th Amendment Center's website, Michael Boldin, Boldin. If you go out, I think it's 10thamendmentcenter.org or .com. If you just do a search for 10th Amendment Center, you can get that. It's the title of the column is Syria AUMF. It's not a step in the right direction. All right, we're up on the end of the show here on the Patrick Riggins Show. If you want more information about us, you can go to our Facebook page, facebook.com/Patrick Riggins Show. Riggins is Riggins. And you don't have to be a member of Facebook. Just type that in. You can also go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show, youtube.com/Patrick Riggins Show. And you can email us, patrickrigginshow@gmail.com, or drop us a card or letter to the studios here. Remember, liberty begins with you in your head. Join me next Saturday afternoon at 4, where we'll be fighting for freedom, liberty, and the restoration of the Constitution. Thanks for listening, and have a fantastic week.
Read dozens of books about heroes and crooks, and I learned much.
Join us again next week for a solid dose of truth on the Patrick Riggins Show.